All right, evening everybody. Here is now day 4 of the challenge of 365 days of recording and doing a little video. I think this time tonight you actually do get the pleasure of seeing my beautiful fiance in the shot. She's over here. She's a little blurry. Say hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
Oh, thank you. This time I didn't double check. I don't think there's anything sensitive out right this second, so we're
You
good.
said I was checking.
We're good. We can show everything here this time. Um, so we are kind of unexpectedly. I didn't know what to do tonight, but I did get some inspiration. Share a little bit extra about my life, which tonight is movie night. That was unexpected. I wasn't expecting us to do like a Disney movie thing, and we just up and decided to rewatch Encanto for a second time. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love this film. And that's actually what I'm going to talk about tonight. Going to do like a little like movie snippet review idea, and then after I'm done with this, we're going to go watch Ratatouille because that's also a really great Disney film. Um, but yeah, for to let everybody know out there, I love Disney. I love them, especially like Pixar, their animated films. Oh my gosh, I grew up watching so much of their stuff. Um, I had to think for a moment if an animated movie that I had in mind was Disney, and it is. I think it's Bugs Life, Toy Story. Um, I've watched like probably all the Disney princess movies. Um, anything from Pixar is golden. I've watched all of them, love it all to death. So I rewatched Encanto, cried a little bit. I'm always the type of person who will, if I'm like really watching a movie, I'll really get emotionally invested in it and just cry probably at least like once or twice. Full disclosure, but helps me just really get into the movie. But yeah, no, I really wanted to talk about it and just like share my love for Encanto. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it in like Encanto. I can say it with the funny accent, or that's not even like a funny accent with the accent. But I think it does a really good job of bringing like mental health awareness. Like I think that's really if I look at the movie, this is my opinion. Um, I know everyone's got their own opinion, so I'm glad you have your own opinion. And if you want to share down in the comments below or wherever, by all means. I know I want this movie to get more recognition and more exposure because I think it's amazing. Um, Not to I want to bring like another Disney film into this, but like I actually really. So I say I love all of Disney films, but I'm not a fan of Raya and the Last Dragon. I actually I think it was beautiful and really good, but I did not agree with the message that the movie um, brings to the table, which was all about like trust and like I think it's really funny how both of these movies have a parallel of how magic is kind of like this medium for how humans can express their own internal world. So like great example of how like that's kind of the whole central theme in Encanto, which is how um, so full disclosure, full spoilers. So I'm literally gonna talk about the whole movie. So kind of like a duh. You're, it's like spoilers. What do you kind of expect? But um, the core message in Encanto, in my opinion, is the fact that the magic was meant to, you know, originally it was meant to help. You see the abuelita who was really suffering and it was through her trauma that magic was brought and used in order to really protect herself and protect her loved ones and you can kind of see like even some people that like who were running away together from the raiders in the movie. And what's interesting is that the in the movie the reason why the magic stops working is because it's now no longer helping the family but it's now hurting the family because now you had the I think Louise the strong sister who she's over encumbered and she is stressed out of her mind. Isabella is now like she feels like she has to be perfect all the time. The reality is like I think there's like two reasons why I don't think the house gave Mirabelle any powers, and I think it's like I almost think one. I kind of have like two guesses of either like A, I think maybe that because the house was literally like so low on power that it literally couldn't afford to like give her anymore, or it was trying to like spare her from their like the wrath of having a gift and the burden that comes with that emotionally, even though I know she was really suffering, although you can make the argument that it's not a good idea because she was suffering emotionally not having a gift. But I know part of like the main theme of this movie was like her without the powers, like showing that like not having powers is what is going to take, is what it took in order to actually bring healing and wholeness to the family. And yeah, no, I think the movie does an incredible job at showing like I took some notes on this. I'm proud about this because I was watching the movie. I was like, oh, I need to take notes on this, and like theme this and like write it out while I do this. And like I think like there's the magic, it was such a representation, like an outwards expression of their internal world. So like again, like the house is falling apart because the family is falling apart. I remember Isabella punches like the fiance dude twice with flowers because the reality is that she's not into him. She doesn't want to marry him. But and that came out, subtly in a small way, but like here's this little vine that just pops him like twice because she really didn't want to marry him. And the movie has tons of other little scenes like that where I think it does such a good job of how the magic is an expression of the feelings. And, you know, again, it was just something I didn't like about Rhea and the Last Dragon was like the magic was kind of like unclear, and it was all about like this kind of like Avatar Last Airbender, like, oh, we're uniting the nations together and we have to love and trust each other even though I'm actively betraying your trust, but you should still trust me. Like that's a terrible message to me that feels kind of toxic. It's like, oh, this person hurt you, but you should still trust them. Like, like there's a like they should be, someone does that, they should kind of like lose your trust, and they need to like work on like trying to make up for that, or like to say ask for forgiveness, and yeah, either way. But I really loved it. I was trying to think if there was anything else. Um, this was something that I did think was interesting, which was the fact of like that the abuelita's trauma is what like started off. And I think this is actually something, I think they did a really good job of showing the function of trauma and like what its purpose is and how it like plays out in actual people's everyday lives, which is clearly the abuelita was traumatized from losing her husband, the love of her life, and as a result of that trauma, it protected her in the form of I think like the magic, and really wanting to create all this structure, you know, and control over the family in order to guarantee like a really safe place for everybody. But again, trauma has served its function and its purpose, but because it went undealt with for so long, now here she is, slowly, one way at a time, like destroying the family because now she did something she doesn't have complete control over, and um, people aren't fitting her idea or the exact mold that she kind of had in mind. So that's how real trauma works. Like trauma was meant to help you get through whatever it is that really hurt you in that time, and then you know but then there's times where like later on in your life where your trauma can pop back up again, and honestly there's times where it's like it's really not necessary, or it's very, I would say, like out of place. And I would say with abuelita, like her feelings of needing all this control were like really out of place. Like you now have like three generations in the same household, you live in a beautiful valley, everyone, I mean, obviously the house was having issues, but or the magic was having issues. But had she been able to actually get to listen what her family's needs were, and get to actually have them, people, the family be happy and get to pursue what they really wanted to do, then it wouldn't have had any issues. So like that need for that kind of trauma is not, it's not there anymore. So I think the movie does a great job at covering mental health awareness. It's beautiful. It's got great songs. You've probably heard it on TikTok by this point. We don't talk about Bruno, no, no. Come on, you're the singer here. Give me a little beat, babe.
We don't talk about
Bruno, no, no. So
we don't talk about Bruno.
she sings, I don't, but I still try to
It
sing.
was our wedding day. There wasn't a cloud in the sky.
But yeah, great movie, super heartwarming. I think it's a very, very well timed message. I know like our culture's kind of on the rise right now of trying to garner more mental health awareness, but I still know there's like so many people that are still really far away from that. And honestly, I just really want people to be a happier and a more authentic version of themselves. And I think this movie just does really good, gives such a great message. So everybody, it was a pleasure getting to be with you, spend time with you this evening.